And then two new crypto strategies. I believe the best time to launch new products is when times are tough and they're out of favor, because that gives the end investor an opportunity to ride the next wave. And, I really believe, if I can just back up and give you a sense, during COVID, as we learned the disaster that COVID would be, the market dropped in 1 month, roughly 30%, depending on the measure. We were down 46%. Our mantra back then was innovation solves problems. COVID's a terrible problem. And then, of course, our genomic revolution was our best performing fund, up 180% in 2020. But our flagship, from the low in April of 2020 to the peak in February of 21, went up 360%. And so this idea of innovation solves problems. We have more problems now. We have all the supply chain problems that innovation has helped work out. We have food and energy prices having increased as dramatically as they did. Electric vehicles, genetic engineering allow crops to grow in less fertile areas than Ukraine. So innovation solves problems. And I believe what happened during COVID and after, as investors woke up to the idea that, wait a minute, innovation does solve problems. I believe that was a dry run for what we are going to experience during the next 5 to 10 years as these 5 innovation platforms around which we have centered our research take off. They are ready for prime time.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So the answer to that question is no government can ban it successfully, because where one country fails at accepting it, if the US is like, fuck crypto, you're going to go to jail. Switzerland is going to be like, come right on in.
I'm not as worried about
Does that make sense?
Why?
Why? Because they want their businesses to be built in that country. They're like, oh, economic power, more for us. Great. You fucked up the opportunity. Now we're going to build it in our country. So the whole world cannot systematically ban it, because where one country doesn't want it, 10 others will be like, please come to us.
Yeah, we probably have another bull market, but the big question, of course, is when. On the other hand, the bear markets are part of the game. In the bull markets, we're all partying, dreaming about the moon, buying Lambos, and the bear markets are good for building and talking about the fundamental stuff. And there's a lot of fundamental things going on. So, well, I guess we can't do without the bear markets and have to embrace them. We overshoot up and down, so we're FOMOing in, and we're sort of crashing down. So the tops and the bottoms are, in that respect, the tops and the bottoms are maybe not the most interesting thing. It's more the general levels that you might be able to predict, but the tops and the bottoms we're always overshooting. If you Google overshooting with respect to investing, there's lots of scientific papers on that. And it's we're always overshooting. You saw that with COVID too. The market dropped and then shot up back the next month. So but you're very right. We were all dreaming about 100K, 1 million, and we're putting tattoos about the moon and rockets. And so most people are talking about maybe $14,000 Bitcoin or 10,000. And I get that. I mean, if you look at the top 70,000 and you go, you take minus 80% from that, you get to the 14,000. And in the past, crashes would be 80% from the top, even 85. So if you take 85% from the 70, you get to the 10K. So I get that, but it's not those were 1 or 2 crashes. You can't make predictions like that. And yes, it could happen, but it might as well not happen. And I'm very much looking forward to what the future brings. And I hope we will not see too many FTXs or Ukraine wars or China mining bans, because those were, of course, the real causes that spoiled our party when we were all dreaming about 100K. I think I think we really would make that 100K if China would not have spoiled the party at the time with the mining ban. Humanity will be driven by greed and fear, like last year and 1,000 years ago. that will stay. That is human. Greed and fear. So we will have cycles. We will have crashes again and FOMO tops and bull markets. But the number of people that does self-custody doubles because of this crash. It's all worth it. If we assume that the old model, the original 2019 model is correct, the 55,000 model, then the next halving could lead to prices somewhere, and I make a very wide range, some people don't like it, but somewhere between 100,000 and 1 million. So that's on average would be like, indeed, those 300,000 times 3 or divided by 3 as a range. But 1, 2, 300,000. I would be really
I'd be surprised if we don't. Yeah, I was just gonna say, so if you don't want to say it, I'll say that I'd be very surprised if that doesn't happen.
So I have no doubt whatsoever that we go to that 100,000, 1 million range, and no matter how you look at it, the current price is a steal if that's what you believe. So yeah, I'm very optimistic.